What's up, everybody? Welcome to Cinema Trip Reviews. I am Wyatt, and this is Alex. Long time coming. It's been a couple months since I've even put a video out on the channel. Sorry about that. It just kind of, life happening, got a new job and whatnot, got to get situated. But for those who don't know, or those who've been following the channel for a while, this is kind of going to be the new format going forward. We're not going to have edited videos with clips kind of spliced throughout the whole thing, just because I don't really have the time to do the editing too much anymore, unfortunately. So we're going to be doing some like live reviews going forward with special guests or even some solo stuff, and just that way we can interact with the audience. You guys can give your opinions on the movie as we're talking about it, and also we can kind of discuss other stuff after we're done doing the review, or go on these long tangents that we do sometimes during reviews as well. The only downside is we won't have as many clips throughout the whole thing, but I got something set up that way we will have a little bit of clips throughout the review, kind of, or at least in the beginning when we're kind of going through the plot and the cast and whatnot. But new setup, I'm not going to have that old setup anymore. I got an official setup and everything. But yeah, Alex, you have chose The Wolf of Snow Hollow. Have you ever seen this movie before?
Never. I'm a big werewolf person. Love werewolves and Halloween, and I don't think they're represented enough. So when you asked me to do this, I was just like, I want a werewolf movie. I looked up some hidden gem ones, and this one came up.
Yeah, this one came out in 2020. I've didn't really know too much about this movie. Haven't really heard anything about it. I have seen the cover art of it on like Netflix and all these other streaming services since 5 years ago, whenever it came out. I didn't really know too much about it. I mean, the cover was okay, but it's like nothing that really piqued my interest. When you mentioned it, I looked into it and I saw Robert Forster. I was like, holy hell, I know who Robert Forster is. I've seen Alligator. He was in Twin Peaks, like The Return and everything. He was also in Jackie Brown, the Quentin Tarantino movie and everything. I like Robert Forster. He's a pretty good actor. And I guess this came out a year after he passed away and everything. So he must have been, kind of on the downturn while he was doing the filming of this, even though as far as this acting chops, you wouldn't really tell. But whenever he's walking around, he's usually like holding on to somebody or something like that.
I was undecided if that was part of his character. And me and my wife were watching this, and I was like, I think something was wrong with him. Like, it just happened too many times where I was like, yeah. I bet you he's like having a hard time moving like in real life.
Yeah, it certainly seemed that way. But I mean, as far as like this acting goes and just talking and everything, it seemed like he was completely there. Like he knew exactly what kind of movie he was in, exactly what kind of character he was supposed to play in this. And it was kind of a little similar to the last character he played for the Twin Peaks Return in 2017 or 2018. He was the sheriff in that one, Sheriff Truman, and he kind of had a similar role. He wasn't like up and around too often. He was all usually behind a desk or just like these little one-on-ones with people or whatever. But it was really cool seeing Robert Forster. It also stars Jim Cummings, and he also directed the movie. I didn't really know too much about Jim Cummings either, even though he kind of does look familiar. Like I have seen him in something before.
He wrote it, directed it, acted in it. He did everything.
Yeah. So I mean, it seemed like an undertaking as far as everything goes. I can't even imagine, writing, directing, and also acting in a movie. So I'm sure he had some stress on his shoulders during the production of this.
Hey man, that's
it does definitely. Right? What was that?
That's the dream, right? We talk about it all the time.
Yeah,
writing, directed, like good for him, And I like the movie, so good for him. And I thought it was a pretty fun movie.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It definitely has that indie feel, because I think it was only made for like 200,000 or something like that, or 2 million or something. I think it grossed 200,000, which isn't very good off of a 2 million budget. But I mean, it is a very low budget type of movie. You get that feel from it, especially. I mean, I would say the acting is somewhat decent in certain parts, at least from the main cast. Jim Cummings is kind of here or there, but that's kind of the character that he plays. Just how stressed out he is throughout the whole thing. But he does have some of those awkward moments where I was like, maybe he shouldn't have been the main character in the movie that he was also writing and directing. Like maybe you should have found somebody else. I mean, me and Annette kept talking about, he looked very similar to Ty Burrell, the dude who like the dad in Modern Family. And he was also in Dawn of the Dead. He has like a similar facial structure and everything. Like you should have got Ty Burrell. He would have acted the hell out of this movie if you put him in there.
I feel like his character could have used some sympathy. Like he wasn't very sympathetic. Funny. He had me cracking up sometimes, but like he was kind of a jerk the whole movie. And I feel like somebody better, like the Modern Family guy, could have had some like sympathy too, of like, hey, this guy's going through some shit, where I didn't feel it for Jim Cummings. Like he just seemed like a dick the whole time. Like, dude, you're a dick.
Exactly. He is addicted to pretty much everybody. I mean, we talked about it before when we had we just kind of briefly talked about the movie when we hung out. It seems like every guy in this movie, every male is super aggressive in one form or another, and all the women are just kind of chilling. And I mean, you have the one police lady. What's her name? Is it Ricky Lanholm? Lanholm is the one officer. That's the actress.
The main chick.
She plays Julia. But yeah, one of the main officer ladies, it seems like she's doing a lot of the police work, and some people just aren't listening to what she's trying to say or whatever. But as you said, with Jim Cummings, the main character, it seems like nobody really likes him. Also, like maybe it's just because he is a dick at times, but it just seemed like nobody really liked him even from the beginning of the movie.
Yeah. Well, it seems like they say it, was an alcoholic. He becomes an alcoholic again. So it seems like maybe he's a little bit of a Nepo baby too, because his dad's like the shit. So I feel like he's just kind of there, and you're kind of just thrust into this guy's fucked up life during all this.
Pretty much. And yeah, it is a werewolf movie as it's marketed and everything. And I went into it thinking, it's going to be a cool werewolf movie. Even after watching the trailer, I was like, this is going to be a really cool werewolf movie. But it's something else completely different.
Yeah.
Completely different.
I think I'd have liked it more if I'd have came into it expecting what it was than expecting a werewolf movie, because I was a little disappointed in the ending, which we'll get to and stuff. And I was like, where's my werewolf? But like,
exactly.
Now that I know it's kind of like a detective comedy, I think I could appreciate it more on a second watch. Yeah.
I mean, you're completely right. If I go into it with the mindset knowing exactly what kind of movie it is, I think I would have enjoyed it a lot more than, because I was just kept waiting for this werewolf to come out or waiting for some kills or something. But like a lot of that exciting stuff never really comes. It's very kind of like a day in the life or a week in the life of this. This cop that's just going through the worst week of his entire life, it seems. Yeah. So we will go through the little kind of cast and plot breakdown here for a second with some clips over top. Had to add some clips for everybody. So this is The Wolf of Snow Hollow from 2020, directed by Jim Cummings, starring Jim Cummings as John Marshall, Robert Forster as Sheriff Hadley, Ricky Lindhorn as Julia, Chloe East as Jenna Marshall. And the very brief plot is John Marshall, an alcoholic police officer, never believed in werewolves. Things change when mysterious bodies are found every full moon in his small hill town. And this guy, I mean, as you can see in the clip, he's sassy as shit. He doesn't care. He's just he's always going off on people. You got Robert Forster in here. I don't know, it's marketed as a horror movie, but it is definitely not a horror movie.
It's a comedy.
Not one bit. It's not even. I would you have a werewolf technically in it, kind of, but it's not even really a werewolf movie by any means.
It's a detective comedy for sure. The werewolf can be replaced with almost anything, and the movie would be the exact same for 95% of the film. For 95% of the film, it could be anything.
I think there was a lot that could have been used. I think it had a lot of potential if it was written a little bit better. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to throw any shade at Jim Cummings or anything like that, but I think it has some potential, especially where the story goes with how the werewolf is towards the end of the movie, and just like some of the kills and setup in general. I think it could have been better written, or at least give us some kills, man. Like you were cutting away from a lot of stuff. I did kind of like how when they would show up to the crime scenes, it kind of had a interspliced between like kind of you showing how the kill was set up and how it transpired, and also how they were kind of discovering the body and the situation, all that. I kind of like that aspect, but you really don't see a lot of like the actual kill itself, where you kind of see the aftermath in a distance, or you don't really see any gore or anything up close really by any means. It's not like a gory movie.
Again, $2 million budget. And I know that's an absolute stupid amount of money, but for movie making, it's not a lot of money, so he did what he could.
Yeah. I mean, even for the 2 million budget, I would say it's well made. I mean, it has some decent shots. I mean, it does feel like an indie movie. Yeah. It feels like an indie movie, but it doesn't feel like super cheap or anything like that. I mean, even like the werewolf costume looks decent from what you see of it. That was another thing. You really don't see it too much. But the stuff you do see is pretty interesting.
Yeah, if you're like in the Fargo mindset, like that's what it reminds me. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
it's just like very like hicky cop, not hicky, that's the wrong word, but just like hometown cop kind of feel, cold, very Fargo feel.
Yeah, exactly. That's the best way to describe it. It's very Fargo feeling. And I always like those like movies that make you feel kind of isolated in this little small town and everything. It does a good job of kind of setting you within that town and getting, I was gonna say getting to know the people, but I feel like with the way that the story goes, you don't get to know the people as much
Mm-mm.
as you really should, especially with how the climax of the movie is. Like you should have really got to know a lot more of these townspeople than you actually do, because the
Yeah.
whole movie you're pretty much just following Jim Cummings around. Him just being stressed out every single day. It's just one thing on top of another. The snowball effect throughout the whole movie of just shit being thrown on him and then just having
People
to deal with
yelling
it.
at him. People yelling.
Yeah, it's like,
Catch
what
it!
are you doing? What are you doing? The whole town just like that was another thing is like you have the initial murder, which like the beginning of the movie, you have like that couple, and I guess they're just like, I don't know if they're on vacation or they live there or whatever, but they go
No,
to
they
this bar.
They go to an
Is it
Airbnb, so they're definitely vacationing.
Airbnb? Yeah.
Yeah.
And first thing that threw me off, this dude is drinking like red wine and everything at this like hick ass bar in the mountains. I was like, this, I don't know if I would be ordering like a red wine and everything, just chilling there. But once again, super aggressive. He hears a guy say like a slur and he's like,
Yeah.
hey, and immediately just start shit where like, bro, you could have just said nothing and just let these guys be on their way. And I like the guy's best friend because he just immediately didn't want any trouble whatsoever. Because he's like, hey, can I ask you a question? He's like, is it going to be a rude question?
This is gonna be
And I don't like, dude, just immediately aggressive towards these guys, and they were just trying to get out of the situation, which I kind of appreciate because I feel like a lot of movies, like the guys that are from that area, are just like immediately aggressive and trying to beat up this guy or chase him down. But they're kind of set up as the red herring, even though it's kind of thrown out the window right away. And then I immediately assumed that the movie was going to try to make you think that Jim Cummings' character is like the werewolf or the one doing all these things, but it doesn't even lean into that far enough. Like it kind of gives you like maybe a hint at towards the beginning of the movie, but then it never really, drops any other clues throughout the whole thing. And it doesn't really drop any clues on who the killer is anyway, or like who the werewolf is, I guess.
Actually, and I didn't find this in the meeting. I watched the video later, but apparently it drops a ton of clues that I
does it really?
Yeah,
I know you have the obvious one with like the sewing thing towards the end of the movie. That's like the one that makes them think like, oh yeah, this is who the killer is. But like, at least from just watching it one time, I didn't really pick up on anything like, oh, it's immediately this person, or it's like, oh, maybe it's this person, maybe it's this person. Because I think this movie would have worked a lot better if it was more of like a whodunit type situation. But it didn't even lean in that direction.
They give you an obvious red herring too, like later in the film, and like there's a dead body with him too. So you're just like, what is that all about? Like he's not the killer, but he's definitely burning a dead body at one point. So you're just like,
but you don't even like see that person enough either. Like you see like a couple different like brief scenes, and then you have that one scene which I would say is probably, even though this isn't a horror movie, probably the most genuinely kind of creepy scene where it's like that person you don't even really get to see that goes into that diner and is talking to the woman that has the kid and everything. And he knows about her and she has no idea who he is. That was a genuinely pretty creepy scene, but you don't really have anything like that throughout the movie. And that's another thing I want to say about it is it doesn't really know what it wants to be, because I would say a majority of the movie is somewhat a drama or like a thriller, as you said, but they do insert these comedic moments that are kind of over the top at times. And it's just like, it kind of takes you away from the movie a little bit. And it comes off very awkward at certain points. And it's just like, I don't know, it feels very jarring going from very serious to like this just outrageous, like comedic like line or moment or whatever. It's like, wow, that just feels weird here.
It was,
and it's like that whole way through.
It was a buildup because it was like, should I be laughing at this, or like, am I the one that like is fucked up for thinking I should laugh? And then there are obvious scenes where I'm like, no, this is funny. And by the end of it, dude, I was losing it at Jim Cummings' character. Him just There's a scene where he freaks out on his daughter, and like I was like busting up laughing on him freaking out on his daughter. Like,
yeah, Yeah, I mean, we're going to be talking about some spoilers and stuff through the movie. I know it's a 5-year-old movie.
Yeah,
It's actually
this is
kind
it.
of hard to find. I mean, it is on like Amazon, but I mean,
Tubi.
you have to go to like, is it Tubi? That's what it was.
Tubi,
That's what we
yeah,
watched on. It was Tubi.
yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, Tubi is free, I guess, so you can go out and watch it.
Go
But
watch
yeah,
it.
we're going to be talking about spoilers. It's an indie movie. But I mean, even if you're listening to the spoilers and stuff we're talking about, I feel like it's not going to ruin the experience. It actually may help going into it because you'll know what the movie kind of is
Yeah.
going into it, as we didn't, but yeah, I mean, as far as the spoilers go, I mean, you talked about that scene with his daughter and her boyfriend in that car that get attacked by the werewolf,
Yeah.
and he comes in guns a-blazing because they're having that stakeout looking for him. He comes in guns a-blazing, and she's like cut up, and he's like doesn't even ask if she's okay. He's like, no, I don't give a fuck if you're okay.
If
You
you were
shouldn't
at
even be out
home-
here to begin with.
If you were at home because of curfew, you wouldn't be out here without your pants on.
And that's what she like lays into him too. Like, you're a wannabe cop. Like, this is why nobody likes you. Or like, you feel bad for him at that point in time, even though like dude is already at the end of his rope. He's drinking again. Like, he gets kicked out of AA. Like, it gets so bad that they're like, hey, we don't want you to come around here anymore, man. You got enough on your plate. He's going to like all these funerals, and it's like the same bald dude at every funeral, just like, what are you doing? When are you gonna catch this guy?
Catch this thing.
You have like even the coroner's just like, my 5-year-old kid can solve this case faster than you, or like what is it? What is this guy supposed to do? Like, you imagine a small rinky-dink type of town. They don't really have too many things at their disposal to go out, like as far as crime analysis and stuff. Like, it's going to probably take a little bit for a small rinky-dink, like maybe 5-person sheriff's department to solve this murder,
And it seems like it happens like over like a few days too. Like, it's not like it's like 5 months or something, like it just keeps happening back to back.
They're kind of spaced out. And
Yeah.
then like, I just love when like every time they're like, oh, there's another murder. He's just like face palms, or he rolls his eyes, and then it just like cuts to him at another funeral, just like depressed as shit. And like going through the crime scene, like the one dude's like complaining about analyzing things, like, just do your job. Just do your job. What do we pay you for? Just do your job.
You should have been a computer engineer. Why were you a cop?
And like everybody's immediately like they see the paw prints on all these crime scenes. Body parts are missing. Like the first lady that gets killed, like her vagina's completely gone.
Yeah,
just completely gone. Then arms are missing, and the head is missing at one of these crime scenes. It's very odd. They're finding these paw prints, and it's so funny how everybody's immediately like, yep, it was wolves, or it's a werewolf. And he's just like, am I the only sane person here? It is not a werewolf.
He's right, but he's right,
He is right.
Like,
And
that's the funny part.
I liked that twist, that it wasn't actually where it was actually like a guy in a suit, like it's a Scooby-Doo episode or some shit. I actually really liked that. I hated how it was just like a character we only seen like a couple times in the movie. You really don't know who it is. That's why I wish we would have got introduced to like, or at least seen some more of these characters throughout the movie interacting a little bit more, because that taxidermist that you see, he's just yelling at people every time you see him. Like, he was the dude in the truck. He's like, get the fuck out of the middle of the road. I gotta get through here.
Well, he's
just complaining the whole movie.
He's the owner of the Airbnb. They won't let him in. He's the owner of the original Airbnb that they're staying at.
Yeah.
There is some subtle, and we talked about this being like a thrill. There is some subtles. And again, I didn't pick this up. I saw a video on it later, but like, apparently in the Airbnb, he's like looking for a wine opener, and there's no knives in the butcher block. There's no sharp objects. It's because the guy who ends up being the killer owns the Airbnb. He takes it all out. And like a couple times he says about, oh, I got to get home to my wife, or I got to call my wife. My wife's gonna be pissed. And then in the end of the movie, he says, oh, I don't have a wife. I'm divorced. And that's why the main character figures out like, oh, it's him. Like, he's the one who did it.
And he talks about like asking if his daughter is okay.
Daughter's okay.
Also, and like nobody would know that his daughter was hurt or whatever either.
The taxidermy book is like written by him too. It's like his name also. Like, so
they should have just had a sign above his house. Like, yeah, this is the guy.
They did, because the taxidermy thing is the sign above his house. Like the little, like it's above his house. There's just some fun.
Yeah, I don't know. I just wish we would have like had more with this character. That way we
Sure.
would have like, or at least like God I mentioned, had some more like red herrings, like like a more of a who done it. Like had some clues, like maybe it was pointing to this person, maybe it was pointing to this person. You kind of got to figure it out with Jim Cummings' character. But like you're kind of at the end of the movie, it just kind of shoot. Like I guess they did have the hints, but I didn't pick up on it. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention enough. But they did shoot her the huge one towards the end with like the
Sewing
the
needle.
cut, yeah, the sewing needle or the sewing needle cutter, whatever it is, the
Yeah.
thread cutter, which is like, oh, there's no reason this person would even had it here or whatever, because if he was going back giving like the belongings back to the people that were involved with the cases and stuff because it was closed.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I did like the part where he figures it out and everything, and then he's like, "Can you stand up to your real height?" And he's like 7 feet tall, bro. I was like, "Holy shit!" And then he just stabs the shit out of him, and he just gets his ass kicked the whole last like 10 minutes of the movie. And he's just trying to fight for his life. He's trying to be Billy Badass because his daughter roasted him about not being like a real cop or a wannabe cop. He's like, this is my time. This is my heroic moment. I'm gonna be the hero. And he just keeps fucking up and getting his ass kicked the whole time. And then it's like the lady cop that comes
The woman
in
saves him. Yeah.
and saves his life. Yeah, the one that's actually been
ones.
doing like the police work the whole time. She comes in and saves the day.
I like
And then
when
he.
I like when he goes out. I like when he goes out too, and like it's just on his face that he just almost doesn't want to do it. He's just like, like he like starts clicking. They have a lot of
when he realizes it. Yeah,
they have a lot of those shots that are like it's really just the character's reaction. You talked about the diner scene earlier, where you don't focus on anything except that woman's face and just like how awkward she feels and how scared she feels. But they don't show it. It's more of like a peripheral terror that you're happening right now. And a lot of the horror shots are shot like that too, which you alluded at, where they're not showing you the kills. It's like just off screen kind of thing, which I think works in the diner scene. I don't think works for the werewolf scenes and the killings and things like that. We want to see that as horror fans. The diner scene was great. That was the awesome, like that's a good composition shot, but like it doesn't work everywhere.
Yeah, and I think if you would have got to see a little bit more of like the werewolf stuff, it would have made you even buy in more to like, oh, it's an actual werewolf. Like the cops are right, he's wrong. What are they really going to do about it? And then it's just like I love the reveal that it was just really a guy in a suit. It's just he has the head off and he's just like running away in the suit and everything.
And a pretty good looking suit too.
Like it was a really good looking suit, and that's why I wanted to see some more of it, because it would have been more convincing if you would have actually been seeing him committing these kills in this suit. And where it's like, oh my god, how are they going to stop an actual werewolf? What are they going to do? And then sure enough, it's not really. And I mean, he shoots at it the one time, but like you don't really get to see anything, because like, it would have been interesting if like he goes and visits that guy and then you see like he has like a bandage on his arm or on his leg or something. He's like, oh, what happened to you, man? Like, there's nothing of that either. But like I wish we would have got to see some more, because he's just out here like he folded that one cop up and put him in that trash can, bro. Like how did he do this?
He chopped the lady's arm off, just like completely clean chop off, like through bone and everything.
Like, how strong is this dude? I know he's like 7 foot tall, but how strong is he?
I'm tall too, but I'm not that strong, man.
No way.
I'm not chopping people's arms off.
And I can't imagine you doing that much heavy lifting while you're like doing taxidermy and stuff.
Yeah, and he's kind of a scrawny dude. It's not like he's a big, tall guy.
Yeah, he's not like buff.
He's just a tall dude, He's actually
whereas like the other
built
dude,
like me.
You're kind of made to assume as the killer. He's way more buff.
Yeah,
he's just not as tall. He's just buff. But they don't even go that far with trying to pin it on that guy, other than kind of cutting back and forth to him. He has like the wolf tattoo on his arm. He's like a heroin addict and everything. And then they're just like, oh yeah, we found this body in his yard or whatever, in this backyard. And it's like, well,
unrelated apparently.
We don't really get any more information. Like, did the other guy put it there to kind of set him up? Is he an actual killer? Did they catch 2 killers maybe by chance? I don't know.
I think they did, because he's burning that body at one point in the movie. Like the red herring guy is burning the body, so he must be unrelated. That guy, the taxidermy, got lucky.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it definitely could have been done a lot better from a writing standpoint and just kind of putting it all together. But I think like you said, the cinematography, I would say a majority of the acting is pretty decent. I mean, Robert Forster, I think, is the one that kind of stands above them all, even though he doesn't have a huge part in the movie. And I think he does a tremendous job with what he
Yeah.
He has, because he's a well-seasoned actor. And I think he's good because he knows what type of movie he's in at each time. That each movie that he's in, he plays it exactly knowing what he's supposed to be. And Jim Cummings,
He's fine.
he has his moments. He's
Yeah.
fine. He
He's
does.
fine.
It's very serviceable, but he does ratchet it up at certain moments where he's just losing his shit, or he plays that kind of very like all over the place, twitchy type guy very well. Like towards the end of the movie when he's at the end of his rope and everything.
Yeah, none of the acting is going to take you out of the movie, but you're not going to be walking away thinking like, man, he should have won an Oscar. You know, it's serviceable acting. I've seen way worse.
Yeah, I mean, his wife. He has that one scene with his ex-wife that was brutal too. Towards the beginning of the movie, he's just like sitting there with that dead stare, and he's just trying to like tone everything out. And it's
just being
like,
a bitch.
He's so over it.
He's like, oh my god,
because
there's a murder happening right now. There's murders happening right now.
I'm supposed to be out here trying to stop this.
Here I am talking to you.
He like beats up his one part, like his buddy, the one cop, because he finds out he's like the informant and everything.
Get him out of here. Get him. He's fine. Like takes him in the back and beats
him up. But when they're at that one crime scene, bro, I like the one he's telling him, he's like, it's not a wolf. Don't say it's a wolf. He's like, hey, yeah, they say it's a wolf. It's wolf paw prints. And you have like the news van behind him and you just see the window roll down or whatever. He's like, oh, come on, man.
Fire that guy. He's like, fire him.
They're always pissed off at the media because I like the one scene with him and his dad, Robert Forster, where he talks about like, oh, it's a massacre at the crime scene. He's like, who the hell said it was a massacre? I want to know who your source is. Or
there's like one person there too. Like
they're
one
all so preoccupied with like what the news is going to say every day. But yeah, I mean, it was an okay movie. I wouldn't say it was a terrible movie or anything. I think it was entertaining because I was definitely intrigued on where it was going by the end of the movie. But I definitely think it could have been a lot better. It definitely had some potential to be like a decent thriller, like a whodunit. It definitely would have been that much more interesting and would have locked me in a little bit more because I was kind of in between some scenes. It was just kind of lagging a little bit, check your phone or whatever here and there. But like, I would say it was a decent movie. I think is out of. Oh, go ahead, man.
I think you nailed the nail on the head. Where this isn't Knives Out. This is a Scooby Doo episode. Like,
that's dude, 100% a Scooby Doo.
The level of depth you're gonna get. The only reason I think I was disappointed in it is because one of the reasons I love werewolf movies, I love the transformations. I love like that effect that you get in every werewolf movie. And that's how we judge like werewolf movies. How good's the transformation scene? I get that here, obviously, because it's not a real werewolf. Not that I didn't like the twist, and on like a rewatch, like we talked about, I think I'd love it. But like, I really wanted that.
They should have leaned into the comedy even more and had the transformation scene, like him putting on the suit, like slow motion, or like putting on the suit is the transformation scene of the movie, and it would happen like right when they figure out like who it is. It cuts to him and he's like putting on the suit and ready to go out.
He kind of got him drunk or something. Him like being like in through peaky eyes, seeing it.
Yeah, seeing him like the blurred vision, like him putting on the suit in the background, and then he like goes out into like the winter night, and you just see the guy in the back, like on the hill, just oh or whatever, just himself. Just I don't know. It would have been a pretty ridiculous, but it would have leaned into a lot of that comedy they were trying to insert here and there throughout the movie. I think it would have been fantastic if they would have went that route with it.
You wanted full horror comedy at that point.
Oh, I mean, they toyed with it the whole time. Like, just lean into it at that point, because even though it does have some drama, I feel like a majority of it doesn't like work for me. A lot of it. I mean, the dad stuff kind of does a little bit, like, but a lot of the drama, like with his family or just like with the police department, whatever, like a lot of it kind of falls flat. And that's where some of the awkwardness kind of comes in, especially with some of the comedy. That's why it's like you should have leaned into that comedy a little bit more, because I think the comedy worked more than the drama throughout.
For sure. Oh,
I think it definitely would have worked better as more of a comedy than a drama. You could have still had some of that stuff in there, like with his dad and like the heart murmurs and the heart attack and whatnot. But you should have just went full blown comedy with it, because I think it would have worked that much better. A comedy on top of like a whodunit, it would have worked. It would have been amazing.
Yeah. Agreed. I think I just held this movie. I like this movie. I actually think I'll watch it again. I think I'll watch it again. And I think, it is an underrated gem. Like, I think if you're a horror person, it subverts your expectations enough that you're like, all right, that was worth the watch. This wasn't exactly what I thought. Because honestly, if it was a real werewolf, this would have been not even worth talking about. This would have been almost a nothing movie, you know, because other than the comedy, this would have been nothing. The twist makes it, you know, the twist is the best part. You're like, all right.
Yeah, it really is.
All right. Like that's fun. That's something I've never seen in a werewolf movie where it's not actually a werewolf. We watch so many of these films where it's like, yeah, the kid's right. Like, yeah, the 10-year-old telling you it's a werewolf's right. Of course it's a werewolf, you know, like nobody believes him. In this one, it's the other way around.
Yeah, I liked how they kind of flipped it on its head, where everybody was even throughout the whole movie just like, yep, it's a werewolf. It's wolves, or it's a pack of wolves or whatever. And it's like, no, he was actually right. There is no such fucking thing as werewolves. It's just a guy in a suit.
It's just a dude. This is crazy.
It's just a dude in a suit. And yeah, it makes you really think. Like, we keep talking about Scooby-Doo, how seriously we're lacking in like live action Scooby-Doo movies, because like having a Scooby-Doo like movie set up like like one of the old cartoons would be amazing. Like,
really awesome, you know. And
it would have been awesome.
This is a pure example of how you could do it, you know. Like, this is like, take it semi-seriously, but obviously lean into the campiness and like just go for it, you know. Like,
this could have been Scooby-Doo and the Wolf of Snow Hollow.
This could,
and you could have had Jim Cummings' character and Robert Forster still in here, but had the Mystery and Gang rolling through town as this was happening.
No, it's Phil the taxidermist rips the mess.
Rips the mess. I would have got away with it too.
After the shoot, I want the after the shooting scene, because he shoots the shit out of this werewolf.
Yeah, like 5 times in the face.
They rip the mask off.
He earns that one by the end of the movie. He earns it. I didn't blame him one bit for getting up and shooting this guy in the face a bunch of times.
The Scooby Gang pulls it off. It's just like an indented hole and like bullet holes all over them. Like, oh shit.
John Marshall, what did you do? He's like, man, I'm bleeding to death here. Help me. What did you expect me to do? You guys were late.
That's how we should remake this movie. This deserves a remake. 5 years later, deserves Scooby-Doo remake.
Just put Scooby and the gang in here, and just, you know, have it like one of their winter episodes. They're all in snow gear and everything. How it like they're supposed to go to Snow Hollow for like a skiing trip or whatever, and there's a werewolf
visiting their aunt or their uncle sheriff, whatever the sheriff's name is.
Yeah, it could have been Robert Forster.
Yeah, he could have been their uncle, Daphne's uncle, whoever's uncle it is.
Somebody, or like Shaggy's like uncle, or like he's related to Jim Cummings and Robert Forster.
It's like his like cousin or something.
Jim Cummings is like Shaggy's cousin.
Just yelling at him. You're not even a real mystery gang. You're just a bunch of kids. Just freaking out.
You don't have any kind of licenses. You don't have any kind of training. I'm the sheriff. I worked for the police department. And yet you're out here. You guys get all the heroics. You guys get all the media attention.
I'm here drug addict. You've been talking to this dog this whole time.
That dog hasn't talked once. I know you say it talks all the time, but I have never seen that dog talk.
I've never heard it. You're on something.
In fact, I should arrest all of you. It's not legal here right now.
We've improved this movie. Now I like it even more.
Yep. I'm thoroughly convinced this should have been a Scooby-Doo movie. You can't tell me otherwise.
Listen, I'm not saying that like as a hate for it. Like, I love Scooby-Doo. Oh no, I've tattooed on my arm, but like, I'm with you. They kind of should have leaned into it, like made it more of a like. The end gets serious. Like the last 15 minutes when he is discovering he is a werewolf, they play that seriously, and I do think they could have put some levity, because it's ridiculous that this 7-foot dude's running around. You never learn why. You just assume he's a killer. I mean, he is a killer, but like
just like he's a psychopath, I guess.
Just like nothing, and then it cuts. You know, it cuts to Jim Cummings later at his daughter's school. I was like, where are they at?
Yeah, they drop her off at college or whatever, and he gives her like a box of condoms, which was weird.
No, he gives her a gun.
He gives her the gun, and then like she has that box of condoms too. But
I think
like,
the condoms are hers. I think that's
is it? I thought I assumed that he gave them to her or something, but I don't know. I didn't like the way the movie ended either, with him just like walking away, overhearing the guy saying like, "Oh, like fresh meat this year." You see the gymnastics team. Like, I don't know. I thought it was a weird way to kind of go out on the movie.
I think he should have turned around and beat him up. I think it'd have been funnier and more. I know it's like the growth.
Like he didn't
of his
learn
character.
anything. He didn't change whatsoever.
Yeah, he goes and whoops those dudes' asses too. I think that'd have been funny.
Oh, dude, I totally forgot it. But that was one of the funniest parts of the movie too. Like after he gets like injured, his daughter gets injured. He has that they have that blow up. They fight and everything. He immediately goes to her boyfriend's house and just like with that like underwear on his head and just beats the shit out of her boyfriend. And then like the mom's flipping out trying to like get him like beat him up. And as soon as she sees that he's part of like the sheriff's office, she's like, what did you do? Why is he here? But he just comes in, doesn't say a word, and just starts beating on
whooping this guy's ass. There's a werewolf on the loose. He's like, no, I'm going to beat that kid up.
Nope, going after him. So yeah, you're right. He shouldn't like. I mean, he obviously didn't learn anything because he starts drinking again like throughout the movie. So like, why would he change at the end of the movie when he heard those guys? He should just turn around and started running at him, and that's how it ends.
Just pulls away like a big clip, like of him whooping ass.
And like the camera pulling out,
pulling out,
on
playing
top
happy
of
music, playing happy college music. Like that'd have been a better ending too.
Shaggy and the gang's trying to pull him off.
I love the scene where he's like reading all the books in the library too, and he's sleeping, and the guy wakes him up, and it's a stupid line, but he's just like, people have been shot for less than that. And he's like yelling at the library.
Yeah, he's like, if it was one of these other officers in here,
they just
would have got shot.
Yeah, and he's just like, oh, I'm so. It was great.
He wakes up. He's like, like screaming.
I laughed out loud more times in this movie than I have in like actual comedies. So that's why me and Wyatt are both like, you should have leaned into the comedy. You should have just should have made it just funny, you know, like Tucker Dale versus Evil, which I also think is a hilarious.
Oh,
movie.
That one's great, dude.
Like great movie. Like
we should review that sometime.
We absolutely should. Just lean into that. Like just be a comedy. You know, you could have still had all your detective stuff and all that stuff, and it would have been the same movie. It'd have been funny. They should.
100%. And I think it would have made that movie like it's already an enjoyable movie, but I think it would raise it up another notch or two in my book. And like as far as rewatchability, I was like, it would have definitely worked better if it was more comedic. Just like you said, Tucker Dale vs. Evil. That is a very rewatchable movie just because of how funny it is, and it turns the whole, cliches of horror movies and slashers on its head. Whereas like this is kind of doing the same thing with werewolves, but it didn't go far enough with it as well. So
it teetered the line too much. Like just pick a lane, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So is there any other thoughts on the Wolf of Snow Hollow here, Alex?
No, it's a quick movie. It's a quick watch. I recommend it actually. You still doing buy it, rent it, or miss it?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what is a buy it, rent it, miss it? What would you give it?
So I think it's just a watch movie, but I know you said the cover's kind of boring. If this came out in a red steelbook with just that wolf, the Wolf of Snow Hill leading up it'd be a buy it for me, just for that steelbook. And I like the movie enough also that I'd be cool having it in my collection.
Because the steelbook is also kind of shiny a little bit, so that red would be glistening. I 100% agree with you.
It'd be a cool like steelbook, and it'd be a fun movie to like show people. It'd be almost like Dusk Till Dawn, where you like show people who've never seen it, and like that.
Yeah,
and that's a much better example of that like flip on the head. But still, it's that kind of movie for me where it's like such a good flip on its head, where like me and my wife are both like, oh, he's not even a werewolf, and like it was a good payoff. It was worth it. It was worth it.
That was one of the moments that got me laughing the most. As soon as I saw the guy in the suit, I was like, no fucking way. Like that is hilarious.
He's just like, it's like his bald head on this like first.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
And it makes you think like, why haven't we seen that a lot? Like we don't see that. We don't see that more at all. Like we should be getting more like it's not an actual monster. It's just a guy in a suit type movies. Like, I know it's very Scooby-Doo-ish, but
more
like,
Scooby-Doo.
More Scooby-Doo type stuff because it worked for me, especially that reveal was hilarious. Yeah. But like out of a buy it, rent it, and miss it, I would say a rent it as well. Like even if it was, I don't know if this is on physical media or whatever, but I probably wouldn't buy it or add it to my collection. I would probably just go out and watch it on Tubi or Amazon, wherever it's at. But I wouldn't say it's a miss it because it's a very different movie. It's not really like anything else, really. Because it doesn't really pick a direction as far as drama, thriller, or comedy. It's just kind of mishmash of everything. It doesn't feel like it's not an extreme of one or the other.
Yeah. it's so short and brisk that
Yeah, like
it's one of
100,
the
like an hour and 20 minutes or
yeah,
something.
like an hour and 20 minutes. Like it's definitely it's definitely a rent it, I agree, but it leans by it because it's almost like you got nothing to lose to watch it. It's not a huge investment where you're sinking 2.5 hours in the movie. Like
Yeah.
it's 3 episodes of The Office and you're done. Like it's
Pretty
over.
much. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
and it's
Pretty
over.
much.
And it moves quickly. There's not too many, like you talked about looking at your phone, but like they don't hang on too many scenes too long. They
Not
move pretty
too
quick.
many.
Yeah, they move pretty quickly. I would say the longest scene is actually probably the best scene, which is that diner scene. That's probably the
Yeah,
longest scene in the movie. Like
I would say so as well.
uninterrupted,
And that's
uninterrupted
one of the
scene.
best ones because
That's the
it
best scene.
actually
Yeah,
you feel like a sense of like dread within it as well. You feel how the woman's feeling in that scene, and
yeah.
you can't really say that about a lot of other scenes. It's maybe that one specific scene with Jim Cumming where it's kind of like a montage of him going through like seeing all these crime scenes and like being at the funerals and stuff. You get that feeling of his like building sense of stress. Like
Oh
you're
yeah.
feeling, you kind of feel that anxiety that he's getting through
There's a
that moment in
great
time.
score there. Like whatever that music's playing, it's almost this like
Yeah,
buzzing that keeps going up. Yeah, you definitely feel that.
it does a great, way of building that anxiety and building
Which
that stress as a
he's about
viewer
to
watching
snap.
this guy. Just waiting for him to snap, and then he eventually does.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I
it was
recommend it.
enjoyable though.
I've
Yeah.
seen way worse. I've seen way
Oh,
better, but
oh
like
yeah.
it's a solid film. I'll maybe not every year, but I'll watch it again sometime. Like give me two,
Yeah.
3 years and I'll probably pick it back up and watch it again.
Yeah, I'd give it a watch. Definitely, I would say recommend it. Go
Yeah,
watch it if you haven't already. I wouldn't say it's like a great like Halloween movie or anything, but if you're going to, maybe wait around like December or January when it's like snowy out, like a
yeah.
snowy night. Put this movie on and watch it. It would be a nice little like it's like a type of movie I would like. I would watch The Shining during like winter, like after a big snowfall, like The Thing or The Shining. I would throw
Mhm.
this in there as well, even though this isn't up like nearly as good as those two movies that I just mentioned. Like just like the way that the scenes of just the snow blustering when they're at the crime scenes and stuff, it kind of makes you feel very cold and stuff. So you want to be all bundled up watching this movie. I don't know. Very
And again, just like Dustin, I think it's a fun movie to show people. Like I think it'd be fun to watch with a group of friends who haven't seen it, just for that twist in the end, just for everybody, just to see everybody being like, what? Like this was fun. It was fun for me.
Yeah, I enjoyed it as well. But that is the Wolf of Snow Hollow, directed by Jim Cummings, came out in 2020. So yeah, we both say Reddit. Go check it out.
Check it out.
We recommend it. But before we get out of here, what all have you been watching here this October here, Alex?
Oh man, I'm a little behind on my October. There's something called Over the Garden Wall. It's not horror. I know we're in October. It's very November feel, very cold feel. It's just a little cartoon. It's like 15 minutes a piece. So I've been getting through that. A friend recommended it at work. Like I said, I've been into werewolves lately. I'm gonna watch. It's on my list for tomorrow, probably after we hang out. I'm gonna watch Vincent Price, House on Haunted Hill. It's one of my favorites. I watch it almost every
That is
year.
one of my favorites as well. I watch it
love
once a year, dude.
I don't know if I do
House on Haunted Hill.
I almost watch it every year, but I do love House on Haunted Hill, and that one specifically. I've seen other ones and they're fine. The Vincent Price black and white House on Haunted Hill, one of my favorite movies.
Bro, they open up that door and like that old lady standing there. I love that.
I love,
like skeletons coming down on the strings.
It's like a chemist skeleton. It's like it looks like I love it's a great. Not hating on that film either. Like I watched. There's another YouTuber I was watching who was talking about like when he does Trick or Treat, he puts that movie on a screen like behind him, and I'm like, that's the perfect movie because it's not bloody, it's not gory. Like I love Trick or Treat, obviously, great Halloween film. I watch that almost every year. But you can't put that on for the kids. You can put House on Haunted Hill. Like it's just scary enough that like kids can see it, but it's so old that like it doesn't matter anymore. So that's what I've been doing.
Yeah, that's a good one, man. Is there anything else you've been watching, like movie wise?
Nah, I'm really into the creature features. Man, I just watched a good one too. A lot of practical effects. Oh, it's a newer one. Mad God.
Oh, you watched Mad God?
I did watch Mad God. It was super weird.
It is very weird. I did a review on it whenever it came out.
I didn't watch it because I don't usually watch reviews unless I've like seen it. Like so I didn't. Yeah, very weird. I wanted to see it because of the special effects.
Yeah,
That's all
I
I
mean,
want.
because it's completely stop motion. It's Phil Tippett and everything.
Yeah.
Very weird movie, but it's extremely well done. Like it looks really, really cool and weird. But yeah, it's a movie that probably I don't need to see again since I've seen it
For
once.
sure. You want to talk about being on your phone sometime? I was on my phone for most of that movie because I was
I
just
mean, most
like,
of it's silent.
it's
Like
yeah,
as
it's not.
far
There's
there's
no
no
word.
talking. Yeah.
There's no talk. Yeah, yeah, like there's music and stuff, but like I was just kind of like, I don't know if I was in the right headspace to sit and watch that. Like, and that's my
Yeah.
no complaint with the movie. It's just maybe not for me. Maybe it wasn't for me. Not badly done, anything like that. Just
Oh
maybe it
no,
wasn't
it
for
was
me.
it was really well done. It's yeah, I saw it once. I don't need to see it again.
Yeah, my
Um,
brother-in-law recommended it to me.
okay, yeah, that's definitely a movie I could see him
You can see
liking.
Nate Lincoln. Yeah, you
Yeah,
know
I could
Nate.
see Nate liking that movie.
Nate likes that movie.
We watched Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight the other night.
Great. Billy Zane,
I,
great.
yep, Billy Zane's awesome in that movie. Love Demon Knight. You already mentioned it. We watched From Dusk Till Dawn
Oh, I
last
haven't watched
weekend
it. I love Dustin.
because it's been a while since I saw that, and it's been a long time since the net watch. So we decided to see it again, and it's just as good as ever. George Clooney
Just
is so badass in that movie.
one of the best, like, subvert your expectation movies. Awesome movie.
Yeah, and I watched the original like Universal Wolfman because I'm going to be
Damn.
doing a guest spot on Flicks and Friends podcast. They're going to be having me on. We're going to be talking about that movie during their whole October month, so that's going to be coming up. I'm not sure when they're going to be releasing that and everything, but that'll be coming out this month. But that's also a movie I'll be watching anytime anyway, because usually each October I go through the Universal monster movies
All of
because I
them?
have like I usually do the Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, Wolfman, and Dracula usually. Sometimes I'll throw the Invisible Man in there here and there if I'm feeling into it, but usually I watch like those main ones
I can't
because
do it.
they're only like an hour long.
Yeah, they're quick.
Max like an hour 10 minutes, but like I don't know, there's just something about them I love, dude, especially in October. They're just very cozy movies. They're not super scary by any means. I mean, they're only like 30s and 40s movies, you know,
It's
but
the eerie noises, man. The eerie noises make those movies. Like
the
those,
eerie
like,
noises, like the way the sets are set up, like the actual sets they built for like they look real. I don't know. It just feels like you're just transported to a whole, not even just another time, like a whole nother world, really.
Damn.
And just like, it's cool going back and watching like old school, like movies like that. Just to see, like you mentioned, the sets, like the way that the actors and actresses are, like the way they dress and the way that they act. And just like, I don't know, just like how they present couples and stuff at that time and everything. I don't know. It's all very interesting, and it's stuff that we're never going to get again as far as like cinema is concerned.
No.
And I feel like there's always going to be an audience for those movies, but I feel like the further and further we get away as far as time periods go, I feel like not a lot of people are going back and watching them or like being introduced to them. You know what I'm saying?
We're the perfect. I mean, we're split. We're both horror fans, but I don't watch them. They're too old for me. Not that I wouldn't watch them. Like if they're on, if I click in it and it's like on, I'll sit down and watch the Wolfman. But I never flick it on. If I go back that far, it's like Hammer Films mostly. You know, that's about like as far. I mean, obviously, I watch some of them. We just talked about House on Haunted Hill, stuff like that, but not going back to Universal Monsters. But same with like
Yeah,
Godzilla.
I got this Universal Classic Monster Blu-ray box set. You know how it is.
It's cool, man.
I love it. But Wolfman's one of my favorites, dude. That's what, like, if I'm not gonna watch, if I had to pick one, probably I would pick Wolfman because it's like there's so much going on throughout that hour and 10 minutes. Like with Dracula, there's a lot of scenes that is just kind of you're lingering on like some of these shots or walking and stuff. Even Frankenstein got some of that stuff here and there, but I feel like Wolfman, it's just like constantly going throughout the whole thing, and I
haven't seen them in years, like all of them, but I feel like when I did watch them, I think The Mummy was my favorite.
The Mummy's okay. I feel like I like that one a little bit more each time I watch it. It's just not as, I don't know. I don't get that eerie feeling from The Mummy like I do with some of the other ones.
I like underrepresented monsters, you know, why I like werewolves. So Wolfman's a good example, but like mummies never get their time to shine either. Like, what's the best
You're right.
mummy horror movie? Like horror movie, like
the
best,
Mummy with Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, that's the best mummy movie. Like,
but like horror wise,
horror movie.
Yeah.
That Goosebumps episode, like, it's is it Tales from the Dark Side?
Is that a mummy movie?
Well, no, Tales from the Dark Side is the anthology, but isn't the one with Steve Buscemi? That's a mummy. Is that Tales from the Dark Side?
It's been forever since I've seen Tales from the Dark Side.
It's either that or Creep Show. One of them has a mummy segment, and Steve Buscemi's in it, and it's like they're at
It's
the
not Creep
college.
Show then.
No,
No.
I'm gonna look it up.
Is there anybody that's watching this? Put it in the comments what it is.
Yeah, man. Steve Buscemi mummy. I'm gonna be real quick.
I'm trying to think of just like mummy movies, like famous.
It's Tales from the Dark Side. It's Tales from the Dark
Okay.
Side.
It's been
Yeah.
a long time since I've seen Tales from the Dark Side. I mean, there's a ton of mummy horror movies. They're just not good. They're like sci-fi originals and like straight to DVD type stuff.
Yeah,
But yeah, you're right. We're kind of due like a good mummy. Bubba
Mummy
Hotep.
movie.
You ever see Bubba Hotep? That's
I
kind
have
of a mummy
not,
movie.
but I would love to
With Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, it's on my list every year of like I need to get to watch this. Monster Squad has a mummy in it, but it's not
Yeah,
a
I was
mummy
gonna
movie.
say Monster Squad has a mummy in it. Yeah, you're right.
Monster Squad's good.
But as far as like an official like mummy horror movie, yeah, we
Yeah.
haven't really had one. Because even Brendan Fraser's The Mummy, I wouldn't consider that like a horror movie.
Not a horror.
It's
Great
like
movie.
action adventure. It's a good movie, great movie.
Do love
Great
that
movie.
movie, but it's not a horror movie at all.
Yeah,
It's
well,
not the scariest
There's parts
scenes,
of
like,
it
when
that
the
I would
bugs-
say is kind of horror.
the bugs curling up his skin.
Yeah, and the guy missing his eyeballs and stuff.
Yeah. Is it? And it's got to be. I mean, now we're kind of getting distracted, but Mummy's got to be based on Universal Monsters Mummies, right? Because it's a Universal film.
Yeah, it's just kind of like their telling of it and everything.
Reimagining of it.
Yeah, they're reimagining.
Yeah.
And then you had the I didn't even see it, but the
Didn't
horrible
even
Tom
see it.
Cruise one that came
Yeah.
out. That was supposed to be the start of like that new dark
Would have been
universe or
cool.
whatever it was called.
I would have been down for the Dark Universe, though. Like, unfortunately, it just came off. Marvel ruined universes. You know, like everybody was like, "We got to do connected universe."
Yeah.
Marvel's doing it, but like, Dark Universe would have been kind of cool because I like the Kong universe, like Godzilla and Kong and stuff. I watch those, and I'm not saying they're spectacular films, or anything,
Yeah.
but I like them. I watch them when they come out. I just like seeing King Kong and Godzilla kick ass sometimes.
So apparently there is a mummy horror movie coming out due next year.
All
They're
right,
saying
maybe we should go see it. We should go watch it.
new standalone mummy movie is in 2026, directed by Lee Cronin, produced by Blumhouse. Oh no.
Oh
no, Blumhouse.
Hit or miss, Blumhouse?
I mean, Lee Cronin's to do the directed Evil Dead Rise, which wasn't bad. I actually
didn't
liked
watch
Evil
it.
Dead Rise.
I didn't watch it.
But I'm not a fan of Blumhouse being involved.
Did
But
Blumhouse do the remakes of Halloween?
yeah, they did the last three, but I mean, you
First
see,
two are
know
good.
how that turned out.
First two are good.
But
Third
yeah,
one's
but
awful.
I mean, look at the movies they've been releasing since then, though. That has not been good whatsoever.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, so I mean, they don't really have a good track record since those Halloween movies, and even including some of those Halloween movies. And I mean, they had the Wolfman movie they came out with last year, which wasn't good really at all.
Oh, that had what's his name?
Or this year? Was it beginning of this year?
Didn't a Wolf movie
Yeah, it was
just
this
come
beginning of
out
this year.
recently? That I thought was good. That had
Well, that was beginning. It was January of this year that came out.
I heard that was
Wolfman.
good with like the Spanish guy plays him, right?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't good.
This wasn't good. Okay.
It wasn't good. It
All right.
wasn't. I mean, the Invisible Man one wasn't bad. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad.
Maybe
I don't know if
that's
you
the
saw
one
that
I'm
one.
thinking. No, I didn't see either.
That
of them,
came
but
out
maybe
in like
that's the one I'm thinking.
2020, I think. The Invisible Man. It has the lady from The Handmaid's Tale and everything in it.
Yeah. I heard one of those movies was good.
I like that one more than the Wolfman that came out this year. But they're trying to get in here. We have a couple Frankenstein movies that are going to be coming out. We have Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, and there's like another one coming out. There's one that's being directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal that has Christian Bale as the monster, and it's kind of like a Bonnie and Clyde story. It's like set modern day, I believe.
Dude,
And like the
Blumhouse
monster
did
and the
Get
bride
Out.
are like on the run. I don't know.
Interesting.
There's a couple
Blumhouse did Get
Frankenstein
Out?
movies. Yeah, but that was like years ago. I mean,
Yeah.
Blumhouse has some. I'm not saying they have all terrible movies. They got some good movies, but I'm saying like recently they've had some stinkers.
This is my favorite Blumhouse film. It's Hush. I love Hush. If you've never seen it, great film.
I didn't know that was a Blumhouse movie.
I didn't either. It's on here, number 5.
I know it's
I'm just looking
it's a
for
Mike
this.
Flanagan movie. I like Mike Flanagan, so
Yeah, awesome movie. We should do that.
Hush was
sometime.
really good.
Yeah, that's like again one of those stories been told 1,000 times, but you just add that one little tweak of her being deaf and like just
Yeah,
elevates
changes
it. It's just
everything.
such a good movie because of it.
Yeah, I love that when they kind of just find some like a common story or common type of like thing, and just find that one little thing to tweak just to make it a
Make
whole different aspect. It
make
just
it
completely
better.
changes the whole thing.
Oh man, they did
Um,
Paranormal Activities. I didn't know that.
did they really?
Yeah,
I
dude,
didn't
they
know
did
that. I thought that was
Split.
before.
They did Creep. Creep's good. You ever see Creep with the guy from
Have you seen
the
the
League?
series?
No. I've only seen the movie with the guy from the League.
Yeah, they're both good. Both movies, and then the TV show is pretty good. They're coming out with the second
I didn't
season of
see the
that here.
second one or the show. I just saw the first one.
Oh, dude, if you saw the first one, definitely watch the second one. It's
I'll
on
have to look it up.
Netflix.
I'll look that up.
Yeah, the second one's really good, and then the TV show is actually really good as well. There's only like 6 episodes for it, but each episode's like its own tape of
Oh,
like a
all right.
person that like visited his house or whatever.
They
But
did
they're having another season of
Sinister.
that. Yep, they do
Sinister's
Sinister.
awesome.
They did, I think, Insidious too.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, they didn't do Insidious. No, they didn't do Insidious.
Dude, I'm just looking through this and I'm not a big ghost fan, so like none of the Paranormal Activities do it for me. Sinister's a good ghost movie though. I know people loved Megan. I didn't watch Megan. Oh, I like The Hunt too. You ever watch The Hunt? It's not a horror
Not
movie though.
interested in. I've seen The Hunt. I'm not interested in like Megan though.
I'm not either, but I heard it's good. I don't know if it's my type of film that I would want to watch and just be like, I mean, listen, I don't do these reviews with you, but like, I'm not going to sit. If you text me tomorrow and say, hey, you want to review the new Disney movie? I'm going to be like, no, it's not made for me. Like, what am I going to sit here and judge Elio? It's made for my 9-year-old daughter. Like, no, I'm not going to review it. So like,
but yeah, I mean, like they had that Exorcist movie that was terrible.
I heard that was terrible.
The last like 3 Insidious movies that weren't good. Imaginary wasn't good. Afraid, like they had a lot of like the stuff from like this year back till like
so they're due for a comeback.
2022, 2021.
So
past like 3 or 4 years haven't been good.
They're due for a comeback, man.
Maybe
that
maybe.
Mummy movie. That Mummy's movie's gonna be their comeback.
No, I mean, dude, I think he's trying to do too much because he keeps trying to fight to get the Elm Street and Friday rights for Friday 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street because he just wants to like make movies and reboot them. And he's just trying to get his hands on like all these major properties like what was it? Texas Chainsaw, Friday 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. He's still saying that he would like to get the movie rights to Halloween back again. It's like, we don't need Blumhouse to be doing this. And also we don't need one production company handling all these franchises. Like I want to see some variety, of people kind of undertaking. But I don't think we're getting a Nightmare on Elm Street movie anytime soon, if ever again, to be honest. I don't think that's happening.
Honestly, it's kind of good.
I think it's done.
Yeah, Robert, and I like Nightmare on Elm Street, but it's one of those things where Robert Englund made Freddy Krueger, like, yeah, not saying that Jackie Joel Osment, whatever that guy's name is.
Jackie Earle Haley.
Yeah, he did fine. I don't think it was him who made the remake.
Yeah, that was just the writing and everything that was behind that.
Like, it's a Robert Englund character, like I don't.
You're right.
Really,
I mean, I think there's definitely some people that could play Freddy Krueger. Like a lot of people have been fan casting like Kevin Bacon or Walton Goggins or whatever. People like, I think Walter Goggins would be a good Freddy Krueger too. If
Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe, that would be fucking wild. But even though like you can put one of the highest caliber actors in that role, and I feel like it's not gonna feel right without Robert Englund.
That's my thing. Like, because it's such like you could have anybody play Michael Myers, you could have anybody play Jason. Like, I know we all know
exactly. It's just a man behind a mask.
Kane Otter is Jason, but like, not really. Like, it's just
Jason, there's people before him and there's people after him.
It's like and I know you're not a huge Chucky fan, but like Brad Dourif is Chucky. Like that is the voice of Chucky. It can't be anything else. Or we're not gonna like it. As they even got Mark Hamill to do it. I love Mark Hamill. But like, no, you're not Chucky.
Same thing with like Pinhead with Doug Bradley. Like, it's not going to be the same without Doug Bradley.
You're always going to be fighting an uphill battle. I'm always going to compare you. Man, I haven't watched the Friday the 13th, or not Friday the 13th, the Nightmare on Elm Street movies in a bit. Maybe I'll pick those up.
Yeah, me and Annette did a watch of them last year around this time.
But yeah,
I mean, with the nights. Yeah, but with the rights for Nightmare on Elm Street, it's so messy just because I think it's owned by Wes Craven's estate, and I don't think they're eager to let anybody do anything with them. So I mean, I think that's why we're getting some movies like that the Black Phone 2. I don't know if you watched any like trailers for that at all. It's
I mean, I had
very
to.
like it's very inspired by Nightmare on Elm Street, like the way that they're bringing like Ethan Hawke's killer character back is like in dreams or whatever.
Yeah. Did you
It's
watch?
very kind of like that.
Did you watch the first one? I like Ethan Hawke. I just didn't watch it.
Yeah,
Was
yeah. I
it
watched
good?
the first one. It was okay. I
That's what I heard.
think a lot of people overhyped it as it was coming out, because it's definitely a little different type of movie than like kind of how Wolf of Snow Hollow is. It's kind of a different movie than how it was portrayed in the marketing and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's a little different, but I enjoyed it. I just didn't think it was as good as everybody else thought it was. Everybody else was like, "Oh, this is the greatest horror movie of the year," or whatever. Like, it was okay, but it wasn't my favorite horror movie of that year or anything.
I
Like
don't
that.
watch a lot.
The
of
second
new
one
horror.
apparently is better than the first, and it looks better
Alright.
than the first. So
The trailers
see.
look fun, and again, we talked about liking cold movies just because we were just talking about the Wolf movie, but it looks like a cold movie. It looks cold. Like even the trailers are like, this looks cold. They're like in that
It's
like
Black-
phone booth.
I mean, I could be just a hypocrite. I'm pretty sure Black
I think
Phone
it
2 is a
is.
Blumhouse movie.
I think it is.
So, but I mean, it looks good, and I like Ethan Hawke though.
I like
too,
Ethan
so.
Hawke. That's my thing. I like Ethan Hawke, and I like taking actors like Ethan Hawke that I like don't really see as a villain, and like then I like just in the trailer, I'm like, man, he seems like a good villain, you know, like
Yeah.
seems like his
I mean,
voice
it's
works for
really
him.
good in the first one.
Yeah,
So I'm interested to see in this one because the whole looks vastly different from the first one. It's a whole different type of horror movie from the first one, from what I can understand. It's very Freddy Krueger-ish, and it looks like very kind of slashery and way more gory than the first one. So it looks like it's kind of reinventing of what the Black Phone is gonna be, maybe as like a franchise going forward. Who knows?
I'll have to give it a chance. I don't watch a lot of new horror, so it'll be like one
I
of the.
try to, man. I try.
Yeah, I'm so far behind on like old horror. I'm just like I
Yeah.
can't catch up to new horror.
There's too many movies.
Too many movies. And I think
Yeah,
the
I
older I
mean-
get, the more like especially horror movies for me, like I don't like a lot of newer horror movies. Just like the way it's edited, the way it's cut. I think the 90s and the 2000s are when horror like peaked, and like that's where I like horror.
I think a lot of it has to do with the look of them.
Yep.
Because I feel like a lot of movies nowadays, like they look too good. Like they look, I don't know, like too like overproduced kind of in a way. Like I don't know. It doesn't
hard.
have that like film feel of like the old school horror movies
It's
or whatever. but
way harder to set it up in modern
Too
time
clean.
too now. It's too hard to set up in modern time. Like anytime they're like off in the woods somewhere, I'm like, you'd get cell service. Like I'd fucking call somebody, you know,
It's
like
2025. You're gonna have
it's
cell service.
2025. Like, dude, I got phone. You got phones that can cell service.
Somebody's
everywhere.
breaking in. Boop boop boop. 911.
911 is your emergency. Like I
Credits.
don't know. And I know that's such a boomer jaded thing to say, but I'm sure
Yeah.
there's tons of good horror movies. And maybe it's because I got kids too. Like obviously I can't sit and watch like horror movies all day because my kids can't see those kind of movies.
Not yet.
Not yet. My son's
yet,
13.
eventually.
He watches some horror movies sometimes with me. I love telling the story. The first time I ever heard him swear was when I watched it with him. He swore at TV. I yelled at him. I was like, don't swear at TV. I'm sorry. Those kids got potty mouth, so.
But yeah, I mean, I've been watching. We usually watch a ton of horror movies throughout October and everything. So I mean, we went and saw Friday 13th Part 3 in 3D the other week, which is the first
In
time I ever
theaters?
saw it in actual 3D, which
How
was
was it?
awesome, dude.
That's
it was
cool, yeah.
awesome.
See, I would do that.
I don't know. Have you seen anything in like the Real D 3D at all?
It's been a while since I've been to the movies.
Because it's been a while since we saw anything with 3D. We saw Jaws in Real D 3D like a couple years ago, and it was awesome, dude. And like you wouldn't think like a movie that's not even supposed to be 3D turning into 3D wouldn't work, but dude, it worked. Like just the way that it does a really good job of balancing like the different like where the camera's placed and like the different I don't know how to describe it, but the
depths?
like the backgrounds and the depth perception and stuff, it makes you feel like you're on the boat with them or out in the water whenever it's like in between the water, like underwater and out of the water. I don't know. It just does a great job of making you like putting you in the place of some of these characters. And it especially worked with Friday the 13th Part 3, surprisingly, with the depth in a way. It makes you feel like you're standing in the woods with some of these characters or whatever. And the actual 3D spots they work, man. Like the eye popping out,
We just
the
reviewed
homeless
this.
guy holding the eyeball
Thank
and stuff. The guy in the beginning, like holding the pole when he's trying to like put the clothes up, line up and everything. It looks really cool because it's supposed to be 3D. And honestly, the best part of the movie was the opening credits, like the disco theme. And
Yeah.
because they redid the opening credits, and dude, I have never seen 3D look this good as those opening credits with them. Because the credits came straight out at you, and it looks like it was coming out over the audience straight into your face, dude. I've
That's
never
awesome.
seen 3D look that good. But those opening credits with the disco music and like all of them like coming out at you, it was really cool, dude.
You see those like the Sphere in Vegas where they like are showing movies. They're building more of those apparently. I wonder what that's going to do for 3D, where like the whole thing around you, like, because I would go see a movie like Jaws would be crazy seeing like just a boat on the screen and then just water everywhere.
I always wanted to go to that one. I think it's like they do it in like Texas or something, but it's like the Jaws on the water where like you sit and like you're in an inner tube out on the water.
They do one up in PA.
Do they?
Near where we? Yeah, there's a lake. It's like 3 hours up north.
Sometime.
Yeah, it's like up near Racetown. It's just like you slip. You're like in a pond basically, and they set up a boat right there. I would.
We should go do that. That would be awesome.
No.
There's not gonna be actual shark in there, so it'll be awesome.
Be some jerk kid who's gonna grab my foot. And I'm gonna have a heart attack
with like a cardboard fin on his back.
You're like, that's too real for me.
It would be cool, dude.
No. I don't even like Jaws that much.
But yeah, I mean, like the real 3D and stuff is pretty cool. I haven't seen like any like modern movies that have been like turned into 3D, so I can't attest to how that looks. But like some of these older movies turning into 3D looks really cool, man.
They got horror movies on VR yet? They should do that too. That'd be cool.
Oh, dude, that would be cool. I think they have like little spin-off games because I think they had like an Insidious VR, an Exorcist VR.
They definitely got games, which dude, good for them people.
Or like these like they're called like the VR experiences where they're like it's kind of a game, but it's more of like you kind of sit there and just watch and experience the stuff in VR.
Couldn't imagine that Alien game that just came out. I think it's like out now for VR now.
Excursion, yeah,
it's like not VR anymore, but it was a VR game. Like, I don't know how anybody did that. I'd be having a heart attack.
I actually want to play that one here since now that it's not on VR because I don't have PSVR.
Is it strictly PSVR?
Yeah, it was strictly PSVR. It wasn't on like Oculus or anything.
Because I know you play VR.
Yeah, but now they have like a non-VR version. I want to try to play it. But speaking of,
I'll shoot it.
I don't think so. It's not like Fireteam Elite. Damn. It's more of like an Alien Isolation type game, I think.
I'm gonna start that. I am gonna start Alien Earth
I was gonna ask you about that. Weeks. And also, did you see the news that Sigourney Weaver said she's had discussions with Disney about returning as Ripley, dude?
Let's do it.
You're down. You're down.
Not as
Ripley back.
I don't want her as like the main character, but
exactly.
Ripley back in a part of the movie is great. I was just going to bed the other day in my head writing a script for Riddick 4, but like writing Vin Diesel out of it because like he's just too old now. I love the Riddick character, so
they're making another one, dude.
He just can't, dude.
I think it's coming out like next. Like I think it's already filmed. To be honest,
he's so old. How can you do that? He's so old. Who am I to say? Like I'm not gonna sit here and say he's out of shape. The dude would break me in half, but he's not Riddick. Like he's not like Riddick shape anymore.
Yeah, I thought it filmed, but yeah, I mean, I know it's definitely like in production. Like they're making another Riddick.
I think it's one of those like perpetual, like always in production movies.
Maybe he's just trying to get funding or a studio behind it, like the Spawn movie. Like that Spawn movie has been in production for like 20 years.
Vin Diesel's thinking. I thought of a pretty good script for it the other day, so pretty good story.
I do that sometimes. Like I've had some good Halloween movies I've written in my head at some point.
Just like I think I could write this down and make a pretty good thing on it. So.
I've had a couple of like original stuff too I've thought of, and I have like ideas in my phone, like notes and whatever I've thought of. But like, man, when am I gonna have the time to make anything or film anything, man?
We just need to do it.
I had to come up with a whole new concept just to continue this show, man. I had to think up a whole new way just to do more reviews.
We got to be our own Jim Cummings. We got to make our movie.
Write, direct, and we'll star in it.
And we'll star in it. We'll make our movie.
I mean, 28 years later was filmed on iPhones, bro. We can film it like a movie on our phones.
We don't have any. Listen, Rhett and Link, you know Rhett and Link Algorithmic Morning?
Yeah.
their first episode didn't come out till they were 34 years old. Like,
Hey,
we're not too old. We
no,
got this, you
you're
know.
never too old, man.
I'm never too old. I'm gonna be an old
What was it?
actor before I was a
Alan
young actor.
Rickman. Alan Rickman, you know, from like Die Hard and
Yeah,
like Dogma and all
Harry
that.
Potter.
Yeah, he didn't get huge acting until he was in his 30s, like almost
Yeah,
40s, bro.
yeah.
It's
Let's
never
write.
too late.
Let's write our horror movie. Like, let's write our
Let's do
horror
it, man.
movie.
And we got to finish our Batman comic we started writing like 20 years ago, 15, 20 years ago. And then all this other stuff. I mean, we've done some of the things we've talked about over the years, like starting podcasts and stuff.
Yeah, it's hard, man. It's hard, and the life keeps coming. You know, my mortgage keeps wanting paid.
But
Oh, one
yeah.
more horror movie I did watch. I forgot it because I don't remember. I did watch Elvira's
is it?
movie. I watched
Oh, you watched that one?
the first one. I watch it every year. It's one of my favorite horror comedies. I love Elvira.
Okay.
The first one. Second one's
Yeah.
trash, but the first one's great. Plus, you know, Elvira, she's a bombshell. So
Oh yeah, of course.
so
I mean, it's been a
watched it.
long time since I've seen Elvira's movie. To be honest,
Man, watch Elvira's movie. It's I mean,
probably due for a watch here soon.
it's campy as hell. It's one of those movies
yeah.
that like I know is not incredible, but I grew up with it. My mom watched it all the time. My mom's who introduced me to Elvira and stuff. Like I didn't watch a lot of like I watch him now on like the drive-ins. What's his name?
Joe Bob.
Joe Bob. But like
Yeah,
I know
Joe
he's
Bob
like
Briggs.
I know he was like TNT when we were kids, but I didn't watch that. My mom showed me a lot of Elvira and stuff, which I don't even know if she was like actively showing, but I just remember watching it with my mom. So I don't know how she got it. She had it on like VHS or whatever. But I watched Elvira when I was a kid.
Dude, I just remember watching the AMC Fear Fest every year, dude. When I would
Yeah.
come home from school, it was just like they would show horror movies all day, every day through October.
Big
It was
plan.
awesome.
It's where I saw some of my favorite like those like B flick movies that like nobody ever talks about, you know, that Death Machine, you know, like I watched Death Machine when I was like 10 and I remember it. I own it upstairs, but like nobody knows what the Death Machine is. Like nobody. But those are the movies that I like.
Yeah, man. I have a lot to thank AMC for. Back when I was a kid, getting introduced to a lot of like weird horror movies or just some of the bigger ones too. Like they would always show like Halloweens and some Friday the 13th and stuff every year too.
Mine's and like you'd think if you saw my parents, you'd think he'd be my dad because he's like covered in tattoos and a Megadeth on his neck and stuff. Never a big horror guy. Didn't introduce me a lot of horror. My mom's the one who was like always. She's why I watched Alien. She's why I watched like Hellraiser, Friday the 13th.
That's my dad for me. My dad was the one that would always show me horror movies.
Man, it was my mom. She would do it.
And even when like the Saw movies were coming out every year, like when they would hit DVD, me and my dad would rent the newest one, and we would watch Saw. Yeah, it was like every year, like clockwork, new Saw movie came out. Let's rent it and watch it.
I actually remember watching one with you one time, like when it first came out.
It
was a later one.
I don't remember which one it was.
It was the one where they were like in the glass box pulling each other back and forth in the beginning.
That was like one of the later ones.
It's a later one, yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the later ones. That was probably like one of the last ones I probably watched, to be honest.
I didn't see any of the newer ones.
I haven't either. Probably the last like 3 or 4 of them, whatever, how many they're up to now. But it's been a long time since I watched a Saw movie.
Let's talk about franchises where like only a good movie or two. Saw. It's only a really good movie. Hellraiser might be one good movie. Jaws, obviously.
I like the second one. I don't mind the second Hellraiser. Yeah, Jaws. Yeah. I mean, there's some defenders of Jaws too, also, but
I'm not saying Jaws 2 is terrible, but like, and I don't even love Jaws 1, but like I know it's a much better movie than Jaws 2. You want my hot take? Jurassic Park, only 2 good ones.
Only 2 good ones? Oh, I agree.
The third one's fine. The Chris Pratt one's fine. All the Chris Pratt ones are fine.
But Jurassic Park and Lost World?
Good films.
Yep.
2 good films.
2 good films. I agree. I agree with that one. Dude, I had one in my head and I lost it. Fuck. Well, I had another franchise in my head also.
Sorry.
Texas Chainsaw.
Yeah, I think only the original. I like 3 of them. Like the original.
I would throw in the original and then the remake with Jessica Biel.
I would do the original, and I guess it's the remake with Matthew McConaughey.
The 4th one?
I love the 4th one.
You're putting that at the Next Generation?
Dude. You don't like that one? That one's like the best
I don't
one.
know, man. I don't know.
Matthew
I don't
McConaughey's
know.
unhinged.
Listen, I agree with you. The Matthew McConaughey performance is worth the price of admission alone.
Yeah,
Just to watch
come on.
him be absolutely insane.
He's
But I don't
insane.
know if I can defend that it's one of the best Texas Chainsaw movies, dude. That
Again,
is
I think
not a very
that's
good movie.
a testament to how bad the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I also like the second one. If it was in
Eh,
if it was in a vacuum, like I think it's
yeah,
a fun film.
not
I
as like a
understand.
continuation from the
Yeah,
first one. Right?
I do understand why people don't like it as the second one, but as its own contained film, I think it's fine. I like the
Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey one. I actually think it's my favorite.
I only like it because just to watch Matthew McConaughey's character. I'm not really a big fan of anything else in the movie. Really,
I
like
think
they have like the Illuminati involved by the end of it, like an
it's
agency.
so crazy.
Dude, it gets way too weird.
Listen, it's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I think I reviewed that with you. I'm not even a big fan of the first. Like again, I
Yeah,
get it.
we
I like,
reviewed the first
but
one.
I'm not a huge fan of the first one. So the Matthew McConaughey is just like my right type of crazy, you know.
It's like, get that bitch Leatherface.
He's
Like
got the
yelling.
robot leg. It's like
Yeah,
fucking,
he's trying to get it to work. He has like all these different remotes. He's sitting there
and they're
trying to
just like
use.
universal remotes. He's like pulling it. Nah, I like that film, dude.
The one scene I really remember was like the dinner table scene. And like as when Renee Zellweger starts losing it, and like Leatherface gets up and she's like, "You just shut the fuck up and sit down." And like Leatherface just sits down quiet. It's like, oh, and you shut the fuck up.
I think it's the
I don't know,
only.
man. It's weird.
It's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre where Leatherface isn't the best part of the film, though. Every other one you watch it
Yeah.
for Leatherface. That one, you're there for Matthew McConaughey.
You're
the
not
whole
wrong.
time.
Yeah, you're completely right on that one.
Like,
That's
so-
really the only reason to watch that movie, in my opinion, is to watch Matthew McConaughey's performance.
It's a good movie, man. Because like
Because I don't
Halloween-
think I think they go out of their way to make sure that they don't like put their names on like re-releases of it and everything. Like
There-
I especially Renee Zellweger, I don't think she tries to be connected to this
Yeah.
movie whatsoever. I don't
You're
think Matthew McConaughey cares. Because there's actually videos of him like over the past couple years actually talking about it and being asked about it, and he like talks glowingly because it was like one of his first like big acting gigs. But like I don't think Renee Zellweger wants to be even involved with this movie by any means. I from what I remember, I think they tried re-releasing it a couple years ago, and like they fought to have their names not put on like the cover or whatever, just because they just didn't want to be promoted that way.
I hate when actors and actresses do that. I hate that, man. Like, you're fucking so jaded that like you got an acting. It's the same with like music artists refuse to play their one-hit wonder. Like, you fucking jaded pricks. Like, you got to be famous however you got to be famous, and like this is a stepping stone. Like, embrace it, you know. Like, embrace your past. Yeah, exactly. Who cares?
Jennifer Aniston was in Leprechaun,
and she's awesome in Leprechaun. There's another one. Leprechaun's only got 2 good ones too.
Yeah, you're right, dude.
I mean, none of them are good.
I was probably a kid the last time I watched any of the Leprechaun movies.
Oh, they just did a legacy sequel, and
did they?
It wasn't terrible. I
Did
mean,
it have Warwick Davis in it?
No, I think they recasted Warwick.
They recasted him.
Yeah,
That's a shame.
I think he is in talks about coming back. Though he said he just wanted his kids to grow up. I remember reading an interview about that.
We should do that for like St. Patty's Day review, like next year or something.
Man, I like and that jump even the space one. While I know it's so stupid, I like it.
Hellraiser went to space. Leprechaun went to space.
Jason went to space.
Jason went to space.
I'm sure Jaws. No, I'm just kidding. No.
Jaws in space. Shark in space. I'm sure there's a sci-fi original with sharks in space somewhere.
Positive there's a sci-fi original with sharks in space. No, man, I love like horror. Thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate having it on. I love these conversations. Anytime you need a guest, dude. I'm here for you.
Yeah, dude. So I mean, we're definitely gonna be trying to do some more horror reviews throughout the rest of this month. We only have like a couple weeks left here, like 3. We're gonna try to do Halloween because we wanted to do Halloween on Halloween last year. Unfortunately, that just didn't happen. I even have the thumbnails and all that made up still for it, so I'm ready to use them again. But Halloween does fall on a Friday this year, so I would love to do another live stream of just talking about one of my favorite movies of all time. I mean, I got old Mikey up here on the door behind me.
I'm down, man.
I got a poster behind. Dude, I fucking love Halloween.
My kids have a
Uh,
parent teacher conference that day, which I'm like, on Halloween?
on
Why?
Halloween,
Right?
because it's scary. It's scary
I'm
for the kids.
I'm coming dressed full costume into that parent teacher
Yeah,
conference.
I have a party after this, like dressed as like Ghostface or something. Like I have a party after this.
Just the mess of the teachers. But yeah. But after that, yeah, for sure. I'm down.
But yeah, we'll have a couple of other reviews throughout the rest of this month, and also going forward, and then going through like our winter stuff. We have some Christmas movies to cover this year because we didn't hit all of the major huge ones over the past couple of years, but there's still some left to talk about. But this will be pretty much the format going forward. I will have some like solo shorter reviews that I can edit, like whenever there's new movies that hit theaters and whatever, that I can put out like little short form vids. But any like longer reviews with guests are probably going to be live streams going forward. That way we can have guests come, have, viewers come in, comment, they can interact with the guests, and we can all, have kind of a little powwow talking about movies. And also just kind of go off on tangents and talk about stuff other than the review after we're done and everything, because I'm not really strict on like time limits as far as like live streams go and all that. I like just having fun, shooting the breeze and all that. But I do really appreciate you hopping on here, Alex, and talking about the Wolf of Snow Hollow. This, for some reason, has been one of the hardest titles for me to remember. I always get it mixed up. Like the Wolf of, like, I don't know. I just always get it messed up. I always
Wolf on Wall Street comes up every time I try to Google
the Wolf on Wall Street. The Wall Street, the Wolf of Snow Hollow, or the Wolf of Wall Street, the Wolf, this. I was going to try to mix the title of the Snow Hollow on Wall Street. I don't know. They should have had Leonardo DiCaprio in this movie as the main character. He would have been a little bit better than Jim Cummings, that's for sure. But yeah, once again, thank you so much for hopping on here and on the live stream talking about this. Hopefully you can join me talking about some more horror movies throughout the rest of this month here, Alex.
I'm here, man. Always down for the invite. Thank you for the invite.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Thank you for anybody who chose to, tune in and watch this review. If you're watching this on a playback or whatever, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. If you haven't already, make sure to check us out on Twitter and Instagram at Cinema Trip Reviews. Also, drop in and leave a good review wherever you get your podcasts. We're pretty much available everywhere that you get your podcast. So drop in and leave us like a 5-star review. Say something nice. Helps us get the show out there to a lot more people, and I really appreciate it. Because once we do these live streams, I will kind of like chop it up and edit it to put it in the podcast form. That way there are like podcast versions of it out there. It's not just a YouTube live stream. So that's kind of the plan going forward as far as the reviews here. So thank you all for tuning in. This is Cinema Trip Reviews. I'm Wyatt. That is Alex, and we'll see everybody next time.
Oh, like auto mutes me and everything. That's cool.